Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to today's program on the Oldtown girls. My name is Shen Yu, Senior Vice President of China Institute. I can talk a little bit more about China Institute. I know some of you are old friends of China Institute. Some of you may be new to us. We are located in New York City. We are a nonprofit organization promoting Chinese culture between US and China since 1926. Our mission is to deepen the understanding of Chinese culture through our public programs like today's program, as well as our exhibition and educational programs. I will first introduce our moderator, Karen Ma.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Karen. I'm so honored that Karen Ma is joining today's conversation. She's an independent film scholar and movie critic specializing in Chinese cinema. She's also teaching at China Institute on Chinese films. She has taught Chinese culture and film courses at the Beijing Center of Chinese Studies. And we are also very lucky to have her teaching Chinese language and culture at the School of Chinese Studies at China Institute. In addition to being a film scholar and a movie critic, she's also the author of a novel that's focusing her cross-cultural life and work between Japan and China. Her most recent book is China's Millennial Digital Generation Conversations with 80后 Indie Filmmakers, published just last year in June 2022.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for that warm introduction. So I had the fortune of watching the film a little bit ahead of other viewers. I guess a lot of you had a chance to watch the film the previous few days, I guess, because we made it available. So to me, the film is very gripping, but I would say a little bit about the title first. I was going to ask director Shen Yu about the film title. I was really intrigued by the fact that there are the Chinese title and the English title, first of all, are quite different, because the English title is the Oldtown Girls, and yet the Chinese title perhaps is a little more telling. It is 兔子暴力, which translates roughly to rabbit violence. So this title tells us a little more about what comes in the film. It spells danger. Whereas I think the Oldtown Girls as a title is much more benign. So I was quite intrigued, and I was going to ask her when she comes on. I will about the two very different titles, but it has elements of a crime thriller, and it's a very gripping tale. It talks about a forgotten daughter left in a small town, a Rust Belt town somewhere in Sichuan province, and ignored by her father, and her parents were divorced some time ago. So she's always, going about town by herself and being ignored by her stepmother, and her father is being too busy working. Can't really pay much attention, and of course, and she has a stepbrother, and that makes things worse. So then she discovers one day that her birth mother, her real mother, is in town. So she's really trying everything to get to know her mother after I think the daughter, Shui Qing, she is only not even one when the mother left her. So she tries very hard to find out who this mother, the mother who left her a long time ago, who this mother is. And when she discovers that her birth mother is really a very charming young woman who wanted to be an actress, a performer. And so the story goes, and so she tries everything to rekindle this love relationship that she so wants from her mother. And long story short, the mother and the daughter rekindle their relationship, and then the mother has a past that is very difficult, and it involves money. They suddenly need a lot of money, and so they end up, the latter half of the story ends up being a kind of a crime film, because the daughter wants to save the mother, and she agrees to help the mother find the money that because otherwise they're people after the mother, and they're mafia people, and her mother's life is in danger. So so then the daughter wants to help the mother, and they ends up getting involved in a kidnapping scam. So it's very gripping, and I think that the performances of the two lead actresses are particularly well done, so very impressive. But it also highlights in this tale the impossible choices many of the parents stuck in small towns, such as the one that we see in the story, about how they choose between spending time with their children now versus spending time elsewhere, making the money so that their kids may someday be better off. So it's a very difficult choice. So that's my take. Yeah, but I really enjoyed the film.
Without further ado, I would turn the screen to Karen, to director Shen Yu, as well as interpreter Ren Kai.
Well, I want to welcome Director Shen Yu again to our program, and thank you for taking time to share your thoughts about the Oldtown girls and sharing the many intrigues behind the film. So I want to start out by asking you the title. The title of your film in Chinese is 兔子暴力, which translates to rabbit violence. It suggests danger, but the English title is the much more benign, the Oldtown girls. I just want to find out why there's such a difference. What is the thinking behind these two titles?
实际上，可以理解为Oldtown Girls 其实是个主语，然后兔子暴力其实是一个行为，就是一个动词。其实它就是一句话的前半部分和后半部分，就是你可以想象成是，在就是老成女孩，然后她做了一个类似于就是弱者暴力的这么一个故事吧，大概是这样。
So Oldtown Girls is a noun and rabbit violence is the verb. So together they are one sentence. So basically the Oldtown Girls, they perform an act of violence, but they are the minority. They are the weaklings. So basically that's what the title means.
Your film, like I said earlier, is a very gripping tale, and it has elements of a crime thriller. I was just wondering where the inspiration for the story comes from.
我们在网络上不时可以看到一些新闻，就是关于弱者暴力的一些悲剧事件。那其实在这些新闻事件中，暴力的实施者其实往往他真的是就是穷凶极恶的歹徒，他们很有可能其实都是普通人，只是在一念之差，然后在某种特定的情境下被激发出就是人性中恶的一面。所以呢，其实我是想讨论一下，就是讲一个这样的故事，探讨一下，就是在悲剧真正的发生之前，是不是真的存在很多的瞬间，可以让一件不好的事情可以及时停止。 那实际上我在剧作中其实留了很多这样的这个点，比如说老马如果那一天，如果他不是对女儿有那么强的控制欲，如果他那天没有去学校接他的孩子，那马月月可能就不会回到这个教室里边。
So what inspired me are many true social incidents that we all read on the news, and I want to discuss and explore the violence that are committed by the weaklings, and they might not be desperate criminals, but they still in a moment of weakness commit violence because there's nothing else they can do. So I want to explore in the films that if there are some moments that happen before the crime, if there were ways to stop the crime in time, for example, had Lao Ma not being so controlling and didn't pick up his daughter, would the same thing still have happened?
水清把一杯含有这个药物的这个饮料，给马月月的时候，那马月月觉得这个吃上去感觉很苦，那他其实也是有一念之差，他也就说了，就是你要不要喝我这一杯？实际上在那一个瞬间，如果他们交换的话，这个故事可能就停止了，这个悲剧就停止了。那包括就是这个妈妈开着车带着女儿行驶在路上，然后她知道女儿给那个马月月吃了那个药以后，她其实就是想，就是我们回去，就是我就跟所有人道歉，所有的问题我来解决。但是那个时候已经陷入执念的那个女儿，她其实就是一把打了方向盘，就是其实他们就走上了不归路嘛，大概是这样。
There are many other moments. So, for example, when Shui Qing gave the drug to Ma Yueyue, she did hesitate and asked if you want to take my drink. So, if that played out differently, the crime wouldn't have happened. Or when the mother was driving, and she hesitated too, but the daughter insisted because she had committed to the thing. She had gone too far. She couldn't have stopped. So if none of this incident happened, the thing would have played out differently. The crime wouldn't have happened.
You know, I appreciate the fact that you make the main character, the mother character, to be somebody with different sides. You know, she's a criminal, but at the same time, she's also a sympathetic character. So I appreciate that. But then my next question is the fact that your film zooms in on 3 young teenage girls, and all 3 of them share the destiny of being neglected by their parents. Their parents are either too busy working or otherwise emotionally unavailable. So I was just wondering why you're so passionate about highlighting teenagers with such backgrounds.
其实我的解读是我并没有觉得他们很特殊，因为家庭关系的这个解构和重新组合，这个在当代社会好像是已经是一个很普遍的现象，就是可能在最近那么20-30年，可能也许在世界范围它都是一个很常见的这么一个状态吧，所以并没有去特意去做这样的一个设定，但确实会因为父母情感的缺失，成为就是这3个女孩之间关系更加紧密的一个原因吧，因为他们不仅仅是同学，也是相互的陪伴，成为情感的安慰。当然，这些都是在悲剧发生之前吧。
I didn't think they were so special because divorced and remarried family are very common, especially in the past 30 years or so. However, I do believe that parental neglect is what bonded the 3 girls together, because they are more than classmates. They are also each other's companion and emotional support. However, that's all before the crime happened.
I noticed in the film that you use a lot of yellow. the mother figure comes out in yellow a lot. Her car is yellow. So is that also part of the consideration of making the most of the setting?
对，黄色其实就是一个特定的一个设计，因为我们在攀枝花的时候，其实当地有一种芒果，它外面是青的，然后里边是黄色的，然后这个东西其实给了我们一个灵感，那其实就很像那个母女俩的这个颜色，因为青色的其实这个小女孩嘛，是那个果皮的颜色，然后因为后来我们去想，这个黄色其实它本身是多义的，那比如说雏菊，就是它黄色的花瓣会让你觉得可爱，然后有时候它也是一种温暖的象征，暖橙色的黄色的，可同时它又是警戒线的颜色，比如说警察的那个警戒线，然后高速道路就是危险的这个讯号，它都会选用这种黄色。那这个颜色的属性好像跟曲婷的这个人物又非常相似，既有温柔的美好的一面，她同时又是危险的一个女人，对，所以就把这个颜色赋予了这个角色。
So yellow is definitely a theme in the movie. So when I was at Panzhihua, I noticed the mango that were produced locally. So the peel, the skin was green and the inside was yellow. And I feel like both colors could apply to the characters of the mother and the daughter. So the green was the girl because he's very young, and the yellow is the mother because it has a double meaning. So yellow is the color of daisy. It represents warmth, it represents cuteness. But at the same time, it's also a color of warning. So when you go to the highway, you see the warning signs are in yellow. So there is both a beauty and a danger to the color. And I feel like it represents Chuting well.
So then I have a question about the performances of the two lead actresses. I particularly like Wan Qian and Li Gengxi's performances, and really well done and very convincing. How did you pick these two actresses, and how did you work with them?
它其实也是各方面的一个机缘巧合吧。本来他是好像是要去考大学，但是因为这个目标的学校就是没有录取，所以他就有时间来参演这个项目。然后我第一次见到他的时候，他就是感觉很年轻，有一些就是少年的感觉，然后觉得他可能会蛮适合水清吧，就感觉好像很简单，然后有带着这个小孩气的这个东西。然后最初的挑选肯定是因为他们的外形符合心目中的一些设想，但是我觉得最重要的其实他们是在现场，他们都会表现得非常松弛。其实你看，虽然我们讲的是一个悲剧的故事，但是在现场的时候，其实大家还都是蛮开心的。然后而且他们对这个人物具有强大的信念感，就是他们相信这个人物，在某些程度就是李根熙演的这个水清，他其实完全就是带入了自己的一个情感。在某些时候，我觉得他把这个自己的通道和表演的这个角色，就是这个虚拟的不存在的虚构的这个人物，就是建立了一种通道吧，把自己的身体情感借给了这个角色。因为在现场其实是有很多即兴的表演，两个演员之间是有相互的激发和影响的。
For the young girl Li Gengxi, it was very coincidental because she was supposed to go to college, but the college she didn't get into college. That's why she had time for the film. And when I first met her, she was very young and very green. I feel like that's what I wanted in the character. But more importantly, she was very relaxed on the set. And even though it's a very intense story, we had a very good time. It was a very good, we had a very good communal support. And at the same time, she believed in the character. She really put herself in the character and she sees herself in the character. So in a way, she connects herself to the character and she projects herself to the character. So it's not just the character I've written, but also herself that's being reflected in the performance. And also there are many improvisations between her and the mother. So I think they both inspired each other to do better.
All right, we'd like to make a pause here and take a few questions from viewers. What was the thought process to review the ending result at the beginning of the film? Was there a certain way the director wanted the audience to approach the film or to think about the characters?
因为这个其实把那个尾部结尾前置并不是在后期剪辑的过程中去做的一个改变，那其实是在我们剧作的时候就做的一个决定吧。当然可能会有一些冒险，但是因为我们的这个考虑是，我觉得我们在讲的其实还是一个情感故事，并不是在讲就是这个3个女孩的犯罪过程，包括就是警察如何去判案。等等等等，其实我最核心的内容还是讲就是这个母亲和这个女儿的这个情感的部分，所以呢，当时其实就是选择把这个落点，把这个句号画在他们的情感上，而不是说这个事件怎么最后进入警察局，怎么被抓起来，怎么最后被审判，这个可能是我的一个选择吧，讲故事的方式。
So it was decided from the script level that the ending should be put up front because I didn't want it to be a crime story, but a story about the mother-daughter relationship. So I know it's risky, but I really wanted to end on the relationship between mother and daughter instead of the crimes procedure about how the cops caught them or whether caught them or not.
因为我在写他们的时候，其实还是每一个人都想尽可能的去描写成一个普通人吧，所以他们其实很多时候就是做了一个普通人会做的一个判断、选择或者是一个决定，因为我觉得我这个故事其实讲的不是一群就是这个变态杀手的故事，他们其实就是一些普通人的情感吧，爱和恨、嫉妒或者一种执念的东西，就包括所谓的反面角色吧，老杜也好，怎样也好，
I want to see all the characters as normal people who make ordinary decisions that we all could make under the circumstances. I don't want to treat the characters as psycho killers, but just regular human beings. And we all have our own relationship to love, to hate, to jealousy. So even the villains in the story, I still want them to be ordinary human beings.
So she says, I was wondering the language used in the film, because director Shen Yu used the local dialect, which is a Sichuan dialect. So she's wondering, why did you decide to make the language in the film Sichuan dialect instead of using the standard Mandarin Chinese?
因为因为中国有很多的方言嘛。然后，但是呢，普通话又是一个官方的语言。对于现在大多数的年轻人来说，如果是生活在家乡的话，其实就是会2种语言频繁的在切换的使用。可能也许会有一些像就是在美国生活的亚洲人的家庭，那其实他也会英文和中文来回切换的在说。所以我其实是试图在还原一个真实的语言环境吧，就是语言被使用的方式在当代的生活中，因为它在攀枝花本地，它其实是个移民城市，虽然即使他们，因为其实也会有一些评论说他们的不像重庆话，也不像成都，因为四川它地方很大，即使是四川方言，它其实还会有一些微妙的不同。 可能在别人听来都差不多，但是对于本地人来说是有很大的不同的。那即使是在攀枝花，它其实是有上海的移民，然后从东北的移民，包括就是四川的人，或者是贵州那边的、云南那边的，它其实是一个融合性很大的一个城市。然后呢，所以我就是运用了这2种语言吧。
So in China, the standard speaking language is Mandarin, but there are also many dialects. So it's sort of a bilingual experience to live in this small local part of town where you speak Mandarin with others, but at home you speak your local dialect. It's not unlike the Asian Americans who switch between English and Chinese when they speak to their parents or in the public. So I want to capture the authentic language experience, and that's why I chose to use the Sichuan dialect. Also, there are many different variants to the Sichuan dialect. So it's neither Chongqing or Chengdu, but a more nuanced and varied dialect. And Panzhihua is a melting pot of different immigrants from Shanghai or Dongbei or Yunnan, Guizhou. So I want to capture that as well.
那实际上我们在这个语言上其实是跟情节是做了一个设计，因为那个曲婷她是带有表演性人格的这么一个人，当她刚刚回到这个城市的时候，她会以一种就是外来者的优越感，就是好像在外面经历了很多光彩的人生，很闪亮的时刻，所以她回来攀枝花的时候，她说的是普通话。当这个事情越来越溃败，包括他在这个城市里浸泡的时间越来越长以后，他的母语家乡话其实就是越来越多，包括最后在这个河滩，就是当他精神崩溃的时候，他其实就是完全是在讲这个四川话，有这个设定。
And the language choices also tie into the story. So Qiting, she's a very performative and she has this flamboyant personality. So when she first arrived back home, she wants to show that she's from the big cities. So she's speaking Mandarin to show off that she's different from the locals. However, as the story progresses and as she feels more defeated, her mother tongue starts to creeps in, and she starts to adapt to her mother tongue more and more. And when she's having the mental meltdown in the end, she completely converts back to her mother tongue, and so the language in a way is tied into the theme of the movie.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our program tonight. So I want to thank Director Shen Yu for taking time to speak with us tonight, and to Renkai for your help with the translation, and to all of you viewers for being a part of tonight's program. I hope we have a chance to see you again soon.